What's up guys, my name's Liam and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Iqunix EZ63. They also have this in a 60 variant, but this does come with an 8000 Hz polling rate, and this is the fastest keyboard that I have tested to date in terms of latency. But is this going to be the perfect gaming keyboard for you? Let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know this was sent out to me. However, everything you're going to be seeing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. It does come included with this hard style carrying case, and inside they do include a bunch of goodies. It actually does come with this really heavy duty feeling switch and keycap puller right there. It does come with this brush as well. The USB-C cable that this does come with is coiled and it feels very solid and heavy duty. So very premium stuff. There's the USB-C. This does come with a tool to actually take the keyboard apart as well. Then there's just kind of some documentation stickers in here, and it does come with some additional keycaps there if you did want to replace those. Here's a quick start guide, and underneath is where you can actually strap in and store your keyboard. Taking a look at the keyboard itself, this does kind of have a bit of a unique layout here. For example, there's this super key right here. This is actually just the shift. And even though this is a 63 layout, they did kind of try and compact this a little bit more to make it a little bit more tiny. I have been enjoying this. I do prefer having the arrow keys. That's why I actually did choose this over the 60 variant myself. I do think it would be a really cool option if they did come out with a larger form factor like a TKL or something like that. But aside from that, everything about the layout has been working really well for me. There are pieces that do screw together here, but it is all solid aluminum. It does kind of have this angle with these brackets over here on the side piecing the entire case together. So it does come with a natural slope there. You are not allowed to adjust or anything like that. I have been really satisfied with the angle of this. I do feel like the front on it feels pretty decent. It's not too high up or anything like that. And it does have pretty soft feeling corners. So the entire time I've been using this, it really has felt great. The USB-C cable is actually in the middle right here where you plug it in. It is not off on the side. And the only really one critique that I'd have about this is with this actual feet design itself. It is kind of a little bit different for me to get used to, because you can see there, they're kind of sticking out and they're a little bit pointy from the top right there. So as I have been angling this and gaming with it, you know, every once in a while, it's not that big of a deal. They don't stick out very far, but they do kind of slightly get in my way just a little bit. And the last thing I would say about it is the feet design that does come on here. As you can see, it's just kind of these smaller strips. I do kind of prefer like a larger set of feet to kind of give you some additional grip on the desk, but all around, I really have been enjoying the feeling and the usability of this. The way that this case actually does come together is just held in place by these screws, so really simple to take apart. And every single piece of this case is solid aluminum. So here is the sides with the feet on the bottom. Then at the top and bottom portion, you also do have this solid piece of aluminum. For the actual tray itself, here's what we're looking at. And it does appear that this does come with pre-lubed stabilizers, and these switches also are pre-lubed as well. And when picking this up, you do actually have two different switch options. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm happy that I did go with the Jade switches, but I didn't realize till later on, after I did tell them I did want to check this out, that they do have these Star Trail switches, and it looks like they're custom switches that they actually made themselves with Gateron. So I do feel like even though these feel fantastic in here, it would have been cool to check those out. But with that being said, if I do get my hands on those, I will make sure to let you guys know how I feel about them. I really do still enjoy these Jades. These are without question some of the best switches that I've ever used. This is gasket mounted. It does have these pretty thick silicone pads right here. This is a close-up of what their custom PCB does look like. To separate the PCB from the tray, they do have some pieces of foam in here, but there are also some areas in here that does look like there is a little bit of a gap. And then you just got the plug over here to plug it into the bottom. So sitting underneath that, they do include a pretty thick piece of pour-on foam. The bottom itself, again, this is just all one solid aluminum piece, but this base is actually very thin, as you can see there. So it actually does make this feel quite a bit lighter. So let's go ahead and drop the sound test. They're using this web-based software, very easy to connect to. and get started up. On the first section here, you do have this key map. So here is a look of all the different types of keys that you can apply to your keyboard when using it. Then next up, you have the most important tab, which is the performance tab. You're not going to see any settings until either you come up here and select some of the keys, or even if you were to select all right here. So starting on this first tab, as you can see over here on the left side, it does allow you to actually select which switches you are using. This is just the fixed actuation mode, so pretty straightforward. On this next tab for the recommended settings, as you can see here, this is clearly just what they recommend, just a one-click setup. So if you don't like messing with the settings on your keyboard too much, you can just come over here and use this option. If you did, however, want to fine tune this to your own custom settings, I do recommend coming over here to this RT mode, and this is where it will allow you to go as deep as possible into fine tuning this yourself. So starting out with the initial actuation, the lowest initial actuation they do have is actually 0.1 millimeter, and then it does make adjustments in the 0.05 increment. So with the Jade switches that I currently have installed, it allows you to go up to 3.5 millimeters, and I do believe if you do have their custom stellar magnetic switch, it will allow you to go all the way up to 4 millimeters. So to be honest with you guys, for this first setting right here, the 0.1 has just been way too sensitive for me. If I'm just typing or something like that, you probably want to go a little bit higher, like a 0.5 on the initial press here, because even at the 0.2, I've been noticing that you just get some random key presses, something you can just kind of fine tune yourself as you get it. But then over here on the actuation press and release, you know, when I am gaming, I do like to have all these settings on this. I may even bring this up here down to 0.1 while you're gaming. Even if you wanted to bring this up to like a 0.5 or something like that, this right here is going to give you the quickest response time for movement on your keyboard. They also do have this bottom out protection. Oh, and really quick on this press and release, again, this does allow you to go in 0.5 increments, and yes, you can go up to the all the way up to the 3.5 on that one as well. So the bottom out protection, not something that I've been necessarily having to use myself. I do have continuous rapid trigger on. And then next up for this super rapid stop, obviously to recommend having this enabled as well when you're gaming, something you might want to turn off when you're just typing and stuff like that, but this is going to give you the quickest and snappiest performance possible. But once you're done applying all of these settings, you want to come down here and click on the save settings option. So it does save to all of your keys. And then coming over here to the lighting section, right here is the name, but then you'll have to come over here to where you can choose a bunch of different presets for the lighting options, and then you control typical stuff like the brightness, speed, and color if you're just using the solid colorway. They do have this professional presets tab over here. They currently just have one person on here with his settings, and then this final tab is just for a testing option. I have been talking to them, and currently this keyboard is still in the early stages of development. So there are no features right now like Snap Tap, Mod Tap, DKS. They have informed me that they are currently working on adding these options to the keyboard, and they did mention that their version of a Snap Tap is probably going to be available sometime around mid-August. And when it comes to performance of this, like I already mentioned, this is the fastest keyboard that I've tested in terms of latency. So I was running this up against the Iqunix 60HE, and it was coming ahead in both the press and the release. All right, guys, so that about wraps things up on the Iqunix EZ63. And like I've been telling you throughout this video, really loving this thing a lot. Ever since I've put this on my desk, you do notice a little bit difference in the feeling of it with the performance, especially with that 0.05 millimeter. So it does stand out from the rest of the competition, and it really does feel great. I have been trying to kind of get away from this, and I just always find myself wanting to come back to it ever since I started using it. And I would have to say that without question, I would like to see them possibly come out with a different type of form factor. Again, the button layout on this for me is just a little bit weird, but the feeling of this does feel really great. I feel like they nailed it, not only with the performance, but with, you know, doing this gasket mounted, doing a full aluminum chassis and stuff like that. So without question, this is my current main keyboard that I keep going back to time and time again. So all around, this is a really solid option, and I could definitely say that I would recommend checking this out, as this is my current favorite go-to keyboard for gaming. All right, guys, so if you have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.